Dang, Levi. Well, I guess we can say this is a 600 special. Even though it's not really. I just checked and I recently found out I have 602 subscribers. Why the fuck are you guys subscribing? I'm not even that interesting. Whatever. I'm just. Let's see. Happy that people actually enjoy this content. Alright, anyway, today's story is a Levi X mute reader, or Levi times mute reader, however you'd prefer to pronounce it. The credit for this video goes to @VarianFran. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing it right, but the story was published on another story, so I don't know where the original link or story came from. I only know who the original writer was. I will have links all in description, all credits, and whatnot. Today's story is called Meow Meow. Literally, it's meow and meow. Like a cat. And it makes sense once we get further into the story. Anyway, oh yeah, small announcement. I probably won't be posting as much because I believe school starts back up for me in like 2 weeks or so I kinda have to like do schoolwork. I never did. I'm kidding. I actually was a good child and I did my work at like the last minute. But we don't talk about that. Right now we're talking about Levi. Alright. I hope you guys enjoy the story. And now, on with the read. Ryan, can you keep a secret? Your friend asked in a hushed whisper. Though you had glared her with the utmost distaste, she released a carefree laugh at your silent anger. I knew you could. A soft mewling erupted from your friend's back. She pulled it open, lifting up the ball of matted raven black fur. I found this little guy wandering around the headquarters in the rain. I couldn't just leave him out there. You stared at her with the classic, "Are you an idiot?" look. The consequences of your punishment if someone was to catch you two in the hall with this feline was staggering. But being the caring person you were, you couldn't completely reject those wide, gray eyes blinking back at you helplessly, no matter how much trouble there would be to pay if you were to be caught. I know how much you like animals, she cooed and practically shoved the little black fluff ball in your face. His thin whiskers tickled your skin, and he gently placed his soft paw on your cheek as if he was saying, "Love me." Meow. Still, you shook your head in rejection. Oh, come on. Look into his face and tell him, "I'm sorry, Mr. Kitty, but you're going to have to be sitting out in the cold rain and starve to death without your mommy to take care of you." You growled at her accusations, unable to argue back with her through normal means, being that you were unable to speak, and there was a lack of ink and paper with you. No one seemed to listen to you because of it, and you were often seen as a pushover because of it. Which is exactly why she came with you for this task. You began to write the letters N-O with your fingers, but was stopped by 2 innocent eyes. Your soft eyes met his small, shining gray ones. He twitched his ears and yawned. Your face twisted up in displeasure at the thought of the cute little black tabby setting out in the cold without any food, and meowing in fear. Your friend's smirk widened when she knew she had you in a corner. A sigh had left your lips, and you nodded, taking the kitten from her. I knew I could count on you, she cheered and trotted off to whatever she had planned. You lifted the kitty and stared at it. Well, I guess we're in this together, you thought to yourself. The kitten meowed in agreement, snuggling against your chest. Suspiciously, you eased around the corner, making sure no one was in the sight in your sight in the hallway, in the whole building, basically. Before sprinting into your room, in the safety and confinement of a room, you placed the kitten on the bed. It purred happily and quickly enough wrapped itself in the comfort of your warm blankets. You smiled gently and petted its head. As long as you're like this, hiding you will be no problem. You shifted the kitten over and climbed into the bed with the little creature at your feet. His soft black fur warming your skin. You kept up with the charade for several weeks without being caught. It was safe to say you had grown attached to the little kitty. He was the only one who ever understood you. However, you had yet to set a name for him. Yet it really didn't matter, because you would never be able to call out for him. However, you were content with him being curled up at your feet at night. Thunder erupted throughout the halls of the building, causing you to toss and turn in your sleep. Your face twisted in displeasure, though it continued to storm loudly. You were determined to get some rest. However, your little companion was scared out of his wits, his fear increasing with each sharp blue flash of lightning and loud rolling crashes of thunder. You turned over in your sleep once again with the sound of thunder. You huffed to yourself. Slowly, you leaned up and folded your hands in your lap. The sound of rain pelted against your window, blocking all view of the outside world other than gray clouds and the occasional flash of lightning. You looked down at your feet. Nothing seems missing, until you realize the little patch of fluff that wasn't there. Anxiety flooded through your body, and you quickly shifted your attention to the door that was left slightly ajar, yet saw enough for a kitten to squeeze through. Without acknowledging your tired muscles, you flung yourself from your bed and slid into the hallway. Your head shifted back and forth, up and down the hallway, before you finally rushed into one randomly chosen direction. Where did he go? You thought to yourself. Concern occupied your entire thoughts, for the little black kitten and yourself. The headquarters was such a giant place with complicated twists and turns that could rival the labyrinth. On top of that, you had to find him before anyone else learned of his existence, especially one of the squad leaders who would be sure to toss him back outside. What the hell is this thing? A droll voice echoed throughout the hallway, just beyond the corridor in front of you. You turned to the corner, praying that it wasn't the person who you thought it was. The voice who spoke was a mistaken one. You turned the curb of the hall and nearly crashed into the said figure that you hoped wasn't there. Though you were wrong. In response, you clenched your fist to your left chest and folded the other arm behind your back. Luckily, it wasn't a squad leader. It was Crowball, which was even worse. You gulped. Cadet, does this creature belong to you? He asked, though the seriousness and confidence projected in his voice diluted the assumption into sounding like a statement. like that you were about whether or not you claimed the animal. Your eyes fell on the animal in question. The kitten purred in response to Levi's voice and slowly made his way towards you in order to nuzzle your ankle affectionately. You nodded, leaning down to pick up and cradle the kitten. You should know there are strict policy on pets, Levi continued. He gently grabbed the cat outside from your arms by the scruff of his neck. Your hands followed in the direction of the kitten, not wanting to have him taken away. Your arms lingered in the air, as if a piece of you was stolen straight from your arms. Quite literally. Thunder resonated throughout the building once more, frightening the little animal. The black tabby hissed and clawed at Levi's hand. He ignored the thrashing and fidgeting animal to turn away and undoubtedly released it back outside to the rain. Your eyes widened as your lips curved into the most distressed frown. He was going to walk off with your cuddly companion. You had to stop him. You opened your mouth to try and plead for him to let your kitten stay, at least until the rain stopped. But nothing came out, only the cracking of a non-existent voice and thunder. You reached out towards his back while the little kitten was desperately fought to be back with you. Taking the first steps of many, you made a determined and confident strides towards him. Though inside you were fearful of the consequences of defying a superior officer. Yet that couldn't compare to the pain of knowing that your little kitten could be thrown away like trash by the housework-obsessed individual. You grabbed into the sleeve of his jacket in a futile attempt to get his attention to stop him. Lion, there's no exception to the rules. Not even for you. He tried to pull away from you, but you didn't let him budge. You would make him stay. You would make him listen. Someone would take the time and listen to you this once. The tip of your tongue pressed against the back of your top row teeth carefully, then sunk into your bottom lip softly. This was the way you saw so many people do before when it came out those letters. Levi stared at you curiously as you repeated the process with a shaky voice. He could tell you were trying to say something, but you couldn't. Levi wasn't the master at reading lips, but he could tell by the way your tongue pressed against the top of your row of your teeth you were most likely trying to pronounce L, and the way your teeth dropped to your lips, it was V. You were slowly mouthing the letters of his name. What was that? He thought. Levi. You stammered slowly, barely in a noticeable voice. Eesh. You grew completely silent when you realized what you just did. Those letters had left your mouth. Letters and sounds that formed words. Words that he could be able to understand. It was only two barely comprehensible words, but it seems to work at getting his attention. But you had no idea where to even begin to try to form any other words, let alone sentences that could even explain yourself and convince him to let him keep your kitten without help and a lot of time that you didn't have. Levi gazed at you with pure awestruck eyes, as though this was the most miraculous thing I've ever known, even more than the fact a human could turn into a titan. Did you just talk? He questioned himself, thinking he was mistaken. As far as he was aware, you were unable to speak. The only things that you could do was make small noises, such as yells when you're hurt, soft sobbing noises when you're sad, and occasional laughs when you were happy. You weren't able to say words, only nod your head for yes and shake for no. What did you say? He asked, and was met again with your insufferable silence of yours. He gritted his teeth and asked more forcibly than before, but shock was hidden in that voice. His eyes were widened with surprise, though you kept the same calm face you had always had. You repeated more confidently, however, you were still having difficulty pronouncing his name smoothly. Levi. You had said in a drawn-out voice. He blinked at you. Was his name the only word you knew properly? You hesitantly released his arm and brought your hands to your sides, focusing your sight on the wooden floor, trying to force yourself to look anywhere but into his eyes. Your body shook slightly and you sniffed. Tears were quickly fogging your vision, and you trembled. You didn't know whether your tears were from fear of your pet being thrown out, or the happiness that you managed to get his attention with your words. That you were able to defend yourself, if only temporarily. He sighed. Do you really want to keep it that badly? You lifted your head and stared at him as he gently handed you your precious tabby. Fine, you can keep him for now. Talk it over with Erwin for you. Your face immediately lightened, and the shining glimmer of light came back alive in your eyes when the kitten was finally returned to your arms. The kitten mewed and cuddled into you. Levi grunted as you stared back at him, with the widest, most sincere smile on your face, as if you were thanking him. He shifted his gaze from you. But I don't want to see one hairball. And you are to clean up after him, along with keeping up with your normal duties. You nodded enthusiastically, but didn't make any movement to go away. He looked back at you, and you slowly began to form another word. That one word, his name, it was infectious. You repeated the same process as before, slowly allowing your mouth to form letters for you. He clicked his tongue, breaking you from your thoughts. Just because you can say my name now doesn't mean you're to come with me each time you need something. You're a perfectly capable soldier before. I don't intend to have you chap my ears off just because you can now. I already have enough brass for that. You giggled at him and quickly spun around. You wasted no time getting back to your room with your sweet little kitten. Levi watched your retreating form as he disappeared down the dimly lit hallway. His name was your first word. Oh, what a cute kitty, another voice squealed. The group of girls and the occasional boys surrounded the dining table to catch glimpses of the kitten exploring the new area of his home. Even Captain Erwin had paid a visit to see the new resident, which he, after the unusual determined convincing of Levi, decided it was okay to keep. So, as long as it didn't hinder your work, of course. Levi scoffed from the amount of attention the little fluff ball was getting. That these soldiers were dotting on the little animal like they'd never seen a kitten before. There was a high-pitched meow from the table the little creature disappeared under. It soon reappeared again next to Levi's foot, causing him to stare down suspiciously at the overly affectionate kitten. Meow. The kitten mewed. He purred softly, nuzzling against the corporal, earning giggles from the group in the room. Levi picked the kitten up by the scruff of his neck, bringing the animal eye to eye level with him. Identical gray colors stared into each other, one menacingly and the other innocently. The kitten swiped at his bangs playfully, earning more coos from the people around. "I think he likes you, Corporal," Petra chuckled. "No way! There's no way a cute little thing would be attracted to someone so grumpy," Hanji disagreed, teasingly poking at Levi's cheek. "Don't you have work to do, shit glasses?" The orange-haired girl leaned over towards you. "So, what's his name, Liam?" Petra asked curiously. You slowly turned your head to the person seated beside you, still arguing with his brunette friend, the kitten swiping happily at Levi while he fought effortlessly to keep the kitten's soft paws from scratching his face. Made you giggle. You hid your blushing face behind your hair and mumbled shyly, "Levi." Hi guys. Alright, so that was Levi. Okay, I mean, okay, I'm acting weird, just don't mind me. But after this, because you guys love Hawks so much, as you know, I will post the new, chapter reading of The Butterfly Lady, probably next week. I'm lazy, and school is probably gonna start back up soon, so I have to be careful with my sleep schedule. I can't always stay up to 5 a.m. now, can I? That wouldn't be a lot. I will, at least 4 or 5 a.m. will be fine. Well, I just said I can't sleep till 5 a.m. Now I'm ranting. Welcome to Rants with Morgan. Okay, I'm kidding. Please don't listen to my rants. They're really annoying. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I will talk to you guys, or you will hear me talk in the next video. Alright, Morgan Devil is out. Bye.